Alright, Shalom. First off, give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Karkadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS, salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are during the truth, and the sincerity, and the women and the children who follow. So I have a lesson here. As you can see, the article says, Iran on the brink of war with the U.S. as Tehran vows to crush aggressors and stark Biden warning. So we all know that, the change of power came to hand. Sleepy Joe is the president. And, things during the Obama administration were not good with Iran, okay? It was a rocky relationship. And that rocky relationship is going to continue into this Biden presidency, so-called presidency. And things are not going to get better, okay? Lord's willing, they get worse and escalate from there. But we're going to get, just a little bit of meat off the bone here. It says Iran sent a chilling warning to incoming U.S. President Joe Biden, vowing to crush aggressors as it carries out yet another military drill along the country's southern coast. So let's check out this little video right here. Refueling plane. Yeah. So we're just gonna get to it. It says this is the fifth time in 2 weeks that Tehran has organized war games in the country. The latest show of military force comes days after the U.S. flew B-52 bombers over the region. In response to provocation, the Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif said the U.S. government will be better off spending its military billions on the health of its citizens. Basically saying, stay out of our business, worry about your own. Which we know this man is in everyone else's country, he's in everyone else's business except his own. He then ominously added, while we have not started a war in over 200 years, we don't shy away from crushing aggressors. So he's basically saying, hey, look, we ain't gonna start nothing, but we damn sure ain't got no problem with finishing something. So it says the Iranian state television showed dramatic footage of the military exercises carried out along the coast of Makran and the Sea of Oman. Dozens of soldiers were filmed parachuting from planes while attack helicopters and tanks engaged in carefully staged combat maneuvers which involved the firing of missiles. So basically, when a country goes into war games, it's like it's practice. It's like training camp. So Iran, my goodness, slack it. Iran is in training camp. Okay, they're doing 2-a-days, getting prepared for war with the U.S. Okay, it says over the past 2 months, the U.S. Air Force has conducted 5 such flights in the region. So they're poking the bear. They're flying over their airspace. Okay, with B-52 bombers. Let's look that up real quick. Alright, so we just went and put a B-52 bomber into Google. And it says, what do B-52 bombers carry? The B-52H, with a weapons payload of more than 70,000 pounds, is capable of carrying the most diverse range of weapons of any combat aircraft. The nuclear weapon capabilities. So if it wants to drop a nuke on you, this B-52 bomber could do that. And this is what they're flying over Iran. Different cruise missiles. It says it has a payload for more than 70,000 pounds. So if they wanted to drop 70,000 pounds worth of bombs on them, they could do that. Which is why it's not a light thing to play with. It says the B-52 missions are part of the maximum pressure policy of the outgoing Trump administration. So Trump was doing this. So what do you think somebody like Joe, who has naturally ruffled the feathers of these people, you think he ain't gonna do something like this, or even worse? It says this has resulted in the U.S. withdrawing unilaterally from the Iran nuclear deal signed in 2015, and has also seen the reimposition of punitive sanctions against Tehran. Last year in January, Mr. Trump ordered the assassination of Iran's top general, Qasem Soleimani, further stoking tensions between Washington and Tehran. So, man, this has all been going on. You assassinated their general. You're flying over their land. They're preparing for their war games. This is all going to lead up into a war. Okay, so that's let's see if there's anything else. This is going into the nuclear deal that Trump didn't want to get back into. Apparently, I guess Biden is going to want to get into that deal, but are they going to want to? Is Iran going to want to enter into the deal? Okay, so we're going to see what's going on with that, but you can't deny that war is in the air. War is in the air every time I look around. But we gonna get these precepts real quick. This is Matthew 24, starting at verse 6. It says, "And you should hear of wars and rumors of wars." Okay, them doing these war games is a rumor of war. Okay, you can sniff the war. You can smell the war. Nobody just starts practicing for no reason. Okay, you go to training camp to get ready for the season. You go to the gym and you practice all day to get prepared for the game time. And that's what they're doing. They're getting prepared for game time. They're learning their maneuvers that they're going to have to do, whether they're in a dogfight or if they're on the ground, or, whether it's drone warfare. In this day and age, you got to worry about machines. You got to worry about cyber attacks. They're getting their ducks in a row so that when the real war kicks off, they're prepared. It says, "See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So we know that the end is not yet, but like I said, you can smell it. You can smell the gun smoke. You can smell the gunpowder. You know what's about to go down. Anybody that reads this article whose mind is open should be able to grasp the fact that the U.S. and Iran is going to war. And not only that, who is Iran backed by? Iran is backed by Russia, and Iran is backed by China. And we know the U.S. is backed by NATO and the EU. And those countries have a treaty. If you go to war with one, you're going to war with all of them. Which is what? World War III. Alright, and these, like it says, these are the beginning of sorrows. It says, verse 7, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And all these are the beginning of sorrows." It's about to go down. Okay, the time is getting closer and closer and closer. So as the time gets closer, we need to be more and more prepared for the actions that's going to take place in this world. And just to get the prophecy, this is Ezekiel 38:1. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal prophesy against it." Okay, it says, "And thus saith the Lord power, Behold, I am against thee, Gog, and the chief priest of Meshach and Tubal." Slakia. So that Gog and Magog is talking about Russia. All right. Present day, the people who inhabit those lands of Gog and Magog are the Russians. It says, "I will turn thee back and put heels in thy hooks in thy jaw. I will bring thee forth and all thine enemy." Oh, okay, hold on. It says, "And I will turn thee back and I will put hooks in thy jaws." Okay, "I will bring thee forth and all thine army." So you have a new Russia. Russia had a new mind state after the Berlin Wall went down and after the Cold War. You know, Russia, it seemed like they turned a new leaf. You know, Russia was a very powerful country, and then it got broke off into a lot of smaller countries. You still had big Mother Russia, but then, you know, you had the Ukraine and you had all these other smaller countries that used to be a part of Russia. Okay, the USSR. But since they broke away, they're now coming back into that USSR communist, you know, big state, deep state, Cold War mentality. That's why when it says, "I put hooks in thy jaw," it's turning them back to it. All right, it says, "And I will bring thee forth and all thine army." Okay, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed in all sorts of armor. So when it says the horses and horsemen, that's talking about the soldiers, that's talking about the tanks, that's talking about the military vehicles, the bomber planes, all of that, okay? All the fighters and all the instruments that they're going to use to fight, all sorts of armor. It says, "Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, all of them with weaponry, okay, with the guns, with bombs, with missiles, with whatever it takes in order to perform their duty." Okay, it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. And we know Persia are the modern day Iranians. I believe it was back in the 1930s is when Persia officially changed its name to the People's Republic of Iran. It says Gomer, Gomer and all his bands, his house, the house of Togomar in the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be a guard unto them. So that's all those small countries that broke off for the most part, as well as some of these Middle Eastern countries, predominantly being Iran. Be a peace unto, or be a shield unto them. Okay? A shield and a helmet. So when the big bad U.S. Babylon goes to move to fight with Persia, you got big brother Russia and big brother China right there on the front lines with you. So it's like I said, it's going down. This is beautiful. 2021 is moving. It's moving fast. So just keep your faith and stay in this truth. Put your work in, and let the Most High fight for you. With that being said, we give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rukar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and in sincerity, and the women and the children who follow. Shalom.